tonight is 5 1.5-minute rounds of junior kickboxing for the ICO British title at 45 pounds. Would you please welcome into the red corner, fighting out of G-Force, Addis Murosavos. And would you welcome his opponent into the blue corner, fighting out of the Combat Academy, Blaine Wilson. Five 1.5-minute rounds for the ICO British title. Murosavos in the red, Wilson in the blue.
Right from the bottom, and looks like a great match.
And not bad fighters in the corner there either with Gazim and Mick, so
yeah.
you've got good corners there as well. Two superb competitors themselves.
Both from good strong camps.
And rightly so for this, the ICO British title. 5 1.5-minute rounds, these two young men. And Blaine immediately leads with the left leg. And this young man oozes confidence.
Yeah. As you can see, the hands are down, he's got that range.
Reminds me of someone. And he throws those punches from angles.
Yeah. I absolutely love all of that when I see that confidence in fighters, especially at this young age too.
Having commentated over what must be 15, maybe 20 years now, I've never had a problem. I know some people do have it. As long as there's one thing, as long as you can back it up, I've got no problem at all with that confidence. And when you see somebody do that and they can back it up, why not?
Yeah, I think it adds a lot to a fighter's game plan. I remember every time I fight, dropping the hands, it just mentally you get into your opponent's head.
And also, we must remember, as much as this is a tough sport, we are also in the entertainment industry as well.
Yeah.
And sports grow because of entertainers in the game.
Exactly, that's it. As you see, like even with pro boxing, all the fighters that have that confidence to drop their hands, and excellent combination there.
And when you're in a groove, it seems that you can almost do nothing wrong. And I've seen, as you said, like yourself, I've seen Blaine many times before. And for one so young, his timing and his ability and his movement is absolutely superb.
It is. I think he'll go far in the sport.
Now, if we look at Addis, as I said, very much more orthodox, but still from a great camp. And I've seen him fight before, and he's a very tough customer. But what do you do when you come up against the Blaine Wilsons of this world?
Yeah, well, that's the thing, is like they have got 5 rounds to work out. Well, they've got 4 left now. I think as we see in that round, he has to try and change something now. I think if he just goes with the same thing will happen for all 5 rounds.
Being blunt, Kasim, if I was Gazim in his corner there, I would be saying to him, make it ugly.
Yeah, exactly.
Get in there, work him. Don't make it pretty, but work him down, make it ugly, hurt him, try and get him out of his rhythm. It's easier said than done, but that's what I'd be saying to him.
Yeah, trying to fight a fighter with that much confidence in who drops their hands. I think you have to get close to him. You have to rough him up.
It's trying to get under their skin, isn't it? It's trying to get in there and really get inside them, because once they find their groove, I tend to see with fighters like that, They just get better and slicker because it just seems to work even more for him. And like now, he's come out in the second, his timing is just as good, he's stepped up the pace.
So Blaine, the confidence is building.
And again, he comes off, we've talked about it a lot tonight, but he comes off the centre line, makes it hard to get back at you. And every time you've got to regroup, you have to face what he gives again.
Exactly. And he is, at the same time, he's throwing in them hard body kicks.
Yes, that's another thing we should underestimate. It's a good point by Kasim, is the fact that he's not just a showman. There's power there as well.
So the hands are down at the knees now. The head swaying.
And that right hand landed cleanly through the channel. But this is what I said about Addis. Look, he wasn't even affected. He's that sort of super puncher, but this is the problem for him getting in. That right hand has landed cleanly twice now.
Yeah, I think Addis, he can't react and he can't lose confidence.
He's got to keep doing this. It's the right tactics. This is the thing. Addis is doing nothing wrong. He's doing the right thing and he's trying to work hard when he walks him down. But it's a hard night's work getting there against someone so confident with such ability.
As you can see with Blaine as well, he is tall for the weight. He's got them long limbs and he knows how to use his range.
So I've got the blue corner 2 rounds to the good. Through no fault of Addis at all, he's doing the right thing. It's just he's against someone with possibly exceptional talent.
That's exactly what it is. I think Addis definitely needs to get on his chest this round and not give him that range and that time to do what he's doing.
Yes, it's easier said than done when you're against someone that's found his groove. Because again, even with naturally talented boxers and kickboxers, and with the ability they've got, it's all about your timing as well. And right from the off, that timing was there, that movement was there from the opening seconds of the opening round.
Yeah, we can see that with Blaine, that he is landing clean and clinical with everything he throws.
Because when they start to build a reputation, if I was in Addis's corner, I would have said from the moment that bell goes, get across that ring, hurt him, rough him up, keep it close, get into his chest, stay there, and stop him getting any rhythm.
Yeah, I think Addis just can't lose any heart with what's happened in the first 2 rounds. I think it has to get close to him this round.
And again, as you said, Addis has stuck to his game plan. He's determined, he's a good, solid fighter. And he just needs to stay in there and get what success he can and look for a heavy shot. As I said, there again, the right hand, right leg, the right leg, right hand combination. He's on fire, he's found his timing, he's found his range, he's just oozing confidence.
He is, and he's only going to get more confident as the fight goes on. Beautiful shot there.
And that was doubling up the impact. That was the countering as your opponent came forward. And this is the problem for this. He must go in like that, but it sets you up for that countering.
Exactly, and running onto shots will only double up the power, like you just said.
And Kasim, as I said, I've been privileged enough to commentate on you many times as well. And when you're in that groove, does it seem like you can do nothing wrong? Does it seem like you're seeing things earlier and you're relaxed?
Yeah, I think once I'm relaxed in a fight, I just feel like I can't be touched. And I think it's one of those things that every time I make my opponent miss, it's just building up my confidence. And you can see it in your opponent's face how you dishearten them.
And it's happening the same here for Blaine, isn't it? The timing as Addis has come in, he's doing the right thing, he's come in fast, and it's just doubled the impact of the counter that he's had.
Yeah, that's it. And as you can see, he's making him miss, he's countering, he ain't doing nothing wrong.
So, and then looks for the, well, he looked to spin there, and
beautiful counter again.
And he's actually getting the count there, and Addis, he's a tough lad. I feel sorry for him there because it's hard enough night's work for him, but look at him looking at Garth Porter. This boy's not going to stay down.
Strong kid.
It just summed up the problems he's facing, isn't it? And that round of applause you're hearing there is actually for Addis from Blaine's fans there. What great sportsmanship, because the lad didn't want to take a count. He wants to stay in this. And he's saying to Garth Porter, who, let's be honest, the referee's only got his safety in mind. So even though the count was right, bless him, Addis was going, I don't want it, I don't need it.
Yeah. See, he's a strong kid, but as I said, what can his corner say now to try and change what is happening?
Well, for me, it would be frustrating as a cornerman, because when he is now going in to work him and going in fast, like you're saying, close that gap quickly. His timing has matched that, so all I'm doing is it's almost like asking a car to speed up to hit a wall.
Yeah, so that's it. I think where Addis needs to be is really stuck to his chest and try not to break away from him. But then, like we keep saying, it's easier said than done.
It is when the timing's there, the confidence is there, the ability's there. Addis really needs Blaine with his back against the ropes being pummeled, but I just can't see it happening.
No. I think Blaine is just one of them kids with everything.
He's picking his shots now as well, and I said, I think, like Kasim says, we're seeing a future great here. And that's no disrespect to Addis, who you can't fault him, and we can see what a good technician he is, we can see what a good kickboxer he is, but sometimes you just get phenomenon. And that old saying is, when you're good enough, you're old enough.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
And I believe
there's that body kick to right hand again.
But that's the thing as well, it's the nous to have that combination. It's knowing that that kick's going to land, having the confidence, and then throwing the right hand afterwards. Let's be honest, Kasim, we've seen senior fighters that would have just boomed in that big right left leg and been happy with that.
Yeah.
But what happens with him? The right hand follows over the top.
Exactly. As you can see, this kid has got everything. He's got the hands, he's got the legs. He's going up and down from body to head.
Now, you've been in a great gym with great fighters and a great coach that's produced multiple champions. I've been a coach as well, and this you can't coach. You can teach everything else to them, but I think some people are just born with that little extra, that desire, that flamboyance. You can't teach that.
No, you can't. I think when you got a fighter with this much confidence, who knows how good he is, I think he'll only keep adding to his game.
Because I've been in a situation where you've tried to coach the dropping the hands and the head movement and the body movement out of a fighter because he's not that good at it.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think it's one of those things, you either got it or you ain't.
And I think we're seeing a young man that has got it. And, you know, I can only heap praise on Addis Murosavos. Still there. There's no way that boy's going to go down. There's no way he's going to go stop. And on any other night, I feel he'd be a worthy match for any other fighter you put in that ring with him and have a real shot at this belt. But he's come up against a lad that you just can't stop heaping praise on.
Yeah, and as you can say, Addis is showing great heart. He's not disheartened. He's still trying. He's still going all guns blazing. But I don't think there's anything he can do to stop what Blaine is doing.
No.
I think he's just one of those kids with everything.
Well, there's adults that we've seen, and again, no disrespect to them, that some of the combinations he's throwing wouldn't throw. They'd be happy with the one or two shots that have landed.
Yeah.
And yet, you can see these combinations. Now, although he's got undoubted talent, let's also credit his corner. They're shouting combinations to him. So this has been drilled as well.
Yeah.
He doesn't just walk in and go, I'm great. This is a lot of drilling for a talented young man as well.
Yeah, of course. Because as you see, when the corners call in a combination, there's no hesitation. Blaine's just throwing it, and it's working exactly how they must have practiced it.
And that, for me, is the worst crime of all, watching a naturally talented athlete in any discipline not maximising their potential. And that's through not working with their coaches, not turning up. Yeah. And that's obviously not the case with Blaine, because there are so many super talented athletes that never reach full potential because they haven't got the mental discipline as well. And that's something you always had as well, Kasim. Yeah. You loved your training as well. Yeah. It wasn't enough just to have the talent, you actually loved your training.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. We've had fighters come into the gym that we've said the same thing about these could potentially go on to be the best.
And Blaine looking for the big finish in the fifth, but look at Addis there, shook his head and then came firing back. This is one tough young man who deserves our credit as well. But the accuracy of the punches from Blaine Wilson and the kicks is a joy to see. But just building on what we were saying, this is also, it's not just about Blaine's talent, it's about the way he's been coached, it's about the way he's listened to his coaches and put in the work as well.
Yeah, that's exactly, as you can see, for a kid of his age, he's in great shape too.
Superb bout. We can't say enough about him. For me, as I said, and I know he sat next to me, but this is a young Kasim Beg for me. And if he goes on to do the same things, he'll have a great career in front of him.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, I think you agree. 5 brilliant rounds of action. 3 close differences in this ring. But we do have a unanimous decision. And the ICO British title belt goes around the waist of the young man from the blue corner.